Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Talking Poop, the podcast where we talk about the movies, music, and media that we all love. I'm your host, Jason Bromley, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, the creator of our theme song. She's also a winner for Best Actress in a short film that I wrote, so she can thank me for that.
But I won't.
She can also thank me for people liking her at all, because she was a disgusting gutter person and she lived behind my house, and me and my wife took her in and gave her several baths, and we gave her all the peanut butter and jelly she could eat, and we basically nursed her back to health like a little bird that fell out of its nest.
I will thank you only for one thing, and that's for bird feeding me, eating the food first and then putting it in my mouth.
I did. I would chew up black licorice and then I would spit it into her mouth.
Oh, yeah. ABC licorice.
You're welcome. And because of that, her hair now has a beautiful sheen. Her eyes are sparkly and clear. And her teeth are as white as... They look like SpongeBob's teeth. They're very straight. They're very big. And they're very white. Thank you. And when she opens her mouth, it does that little ding.
That reminds me of... because we're going to be talking about this, but Fairly Odd Parents. What is his fucking name? He goes, "My shiny teeth and me," and every time he sings, it goes ding. Okay,
Alicia, you just blew the intro.
Yeah,
I was getting to that. I was about to tell the people what this episode's about. Yeah. They wait with bated breath for me to get out the host so that they can hear what our episode's going to be about, and you just...
I'm really sorry I ruined the masturbated breath.
You jerked them off super fast to completion and then was like, oops.
I got nervous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Not appropriate. No.
I was way too premature. I understand that. I will work on it and I will rectify that, and
damn it, Alicia,
be better.
You're already doing it. Like, I was just also going to say that we needed a palate cleanser after our last episode, because our last episode really went there.
What is more cleansing than on the palate than rectum?
I got a text on Tuesday. Speaking of rectum, I got a text on Tuesday, on Tuesday of this week. I released it on Thursday, so it must have been Friday. Regardless, I got a text, all right, and it just said, "Did you seriously just do 15 minutes on a pink sock?"
Okay. Well, see, you see that as a negative, but I see that as a positive. So the merchandise we were talking about for Talking Poop podcast, now you can put that on a shirt. Did you really just spend 15 minutes on a pink sock? I mean, it's a long, sentence for a shirt, but it's unique. It's a unique shirt.
It is unique to Talking Poop for sure, because we are one of the classiest podcasts out there.
I agree. And it's because of me. So you're welcome.
It's largely because of you. So thank you.
I mean, I do what I can.
But today we're going to try to clean it up a little bit. We're going to take it back. We're going to talk about something holy and pure: Saturday morning cartoons. Ding, 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 ding.
I like how we both just had two completely different...
totally different directions. We were like...
Shows how old you are, how young I am.
Neither one of us stopped it. We just... Hey, I'm just going to keep going.
Smurf along with me. No! HeMan piggies!
Michelangelo, you're about to be shell-shocked.
Autobots, roll out.
Mini powers activate!
Fairy alert, all fighter parries scramble. Did somebody say justice?
You're despicable.
Decepticons, attack!
We don't make mistakes here. We just have happy accidents.
Thank you. Goodbye.
So if you're wondering what that was a little ditty that I put together for you guys. And it's actually quite a bit longer. So if you want to hear the whole thing, stay tuned at the end of the episode, and I'm going to play the whole thing for you. And trust me, it's worth waiting for. All right. Also, my new DJ name is going to be DJ Duty. So listen to DJ Duty drop the duty at the end of this episode. Now back to the episode.
I have been sick all week long, and it has been awful. You can probably hear it in my voice. It's a little nasally.
Yeah, but you were giving me shit for sniffling on the podcast all the time. I'm sorry, it's a tick.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
you're doing that in like the middle of summer. It's not like you have a cold every week.
It's just who I am as an individual.
Yeah, you're yucky as an individual. So now we know. And knowing is half the battle. Now, that's from G.I. Joe.
Send it, go.
Imagine yourself going back. Lights are flashing in your eyes and this fog is filling the room. Now take your shirt off and start rubbing your nipples counterclockwise. No, not you, Alicia.
What? I'm sorry. I was just really in the moment.
You know what I realized? I never introduced you.
Oh, you bastard.
Hey, everybody. It's Alicia Irino.
You know what? I can't wait to get married so I can change my last name just so you can fucking fuck it up too.
I said it. I thought I said it right this time.
No, you never say it right.
I thought
ever.
I said it right.
And you never spell it right. I swear to God, on every single like film project I've ever been on with you, you like I think it's on purpose, but you always spell either my first or my last name wrong.
Irino, right?
Yeah.
Irino.
Oh wow, yeah. Irino.
Irino? We've done this so many times. Our listeners probably hate it, but I'm gonna get it right from now on.
It's technically pronounced Irino, but
that's what I said the first time. I just didn't say it all Italian.
It's Italian.
I didn't.
You said Irano. But my redneck family, it's gonna be Irino. So it's Irino.
Irino. There's no place where an I makes a hard E sound.
It's Irino. I used to live in a town called Chirino, Texas. And I was Alicia Irino from Chirino, and that sounded like super fucking
that sounds
hood.
Good. That's like a radio handle.
Anyway, I got cartoons hooked up. Did you want to start?
I wanted to take us back to a time when the world was a more innocent place, a time when things were simpler than 1980s, where I'm sure you don't remember this, but there was a time in the world where there were no cartoon networks. There was no Disney channels. And so Saturday morning cartoons were all that we had. And you got up early on a Saturday to watch cartoons because they were over by like 11 o'clock. Done. No more cartoons now till the next Saturday.
The good ones.
No, all cartoons is what I'm telling you. We had Saturday morning cartoons, and then there was no cartoons at all anymore. Then on the weekdays, after I think when I was in first grade is when they actually started playing cartoons on the weekdays in the afternoons after school, but it was from 3 till 5, and then the 5 o'clock news came on.
That's so weird because I remember, well, first of all, I was too poor for Cartoon Network. Second of all, I was too poor for Disney Channel. I was stuck with PBS, which I am not complaining about.
No, PBS
that.
was part of all of our childhoods.
Yeah, I was not mad about that.
Were you just a Sesame Street kid? Or?
Do you even remember Zoom? The show Zoom?
That was after. That's way after my time.
I know it's not cartoons, but that was my jam. That was my jam. No, I was all about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Arthur. Did you grow up with Arthur?
That was post me as well.
You know what? I'm gonna go. Hold on. What about the bear? Okay, is it Berenstain Bears or Berenstain?
It's the
Bears or Bernstein.
Berenstain Bears. They're German.
Well, that. What about? Clifford the Big Red Dog.
I was aware of Clifford the Big Red Dog, but I never liked it. But my son watches it now, but he's not a big red dog now. He's a puppy.
Oh no, that's Clifford's Puppy Days.
Like a prequel?
It is,
Okay,
yeah.
now I
No,
can
it
already
really
tell
is.
that there is a huge generation gap between us, and it's
I know,
it's
I
going to
feel like
frustrate me.
Okay, how about the Magic School Bus? Hop on a Magic School Bus.
That was another one that I did not ever watch. My kid watches the shit out of it, and he watches.
Did you even watch cartoons?
So with PBS, it was almost all live action. It was the Electric Company with award-winning actor Morgan Freeman. It was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It was Sesame Street. Now, the crazy thing is that so Electric Company and Sesame Street both came on in the mornings, but like Electric Company was like the G'd out Sesame Street. And not only did they have they were more hardcore than Sesame Street, but also they had the Spider-Man segment that was a live action Spider-Man, and it was like the highlight of my little kid life. When I was a kid, we didn't have access to superheroes. So if you were a superhero lover like me, you had 1969 Batman reruns, you had the minute and a half Spider-Man show on Electric Company, which seemed like we were getting a special prize for free. And then you had the Incredible Hulk TV show that came on late in the morning.
All of my cartoon stories are sad and depressing. So
Well, it is kind of sad or depressing, but one of my
I can't relate to your stories at
one of my
all.
first memories though is like waking up early and my mom being like, no. And so she showed me how to turn on the cable box and how to turn on the television so that I could watch cartoons. And the first cartoon that came on in the morning was the Smurfs. And the Smurfs...
You've got to be smurfing me right now.
I smurf you negative. The Smurfs were the first thing that came on, and I would get up early for that, and I never really liked the Smurfs. But it was a cartoon, and so I would get up, and I was excited for it, even though I was just like, it was not my favorite. I'll go so far as to admit that later in the morning, I was more into Snorks, which was the underwater version of the Smurfs. Do you remember Snorks?
I do, yeah. Barely, though. Barely.
Yeah.
Like from a friend's house, not even from my own house. That shit was not allowed.
There was no snorking involved in your house? You weren't allowed to snort?
It was on the door. No smoking and no...
Well, the Snorks did make parents uncomfortable because they had little bongs on their head so that they could breathe underwater.
Yeah. But I don't think that's why. I think my parents thought I was just going to get ideas and just like murder them.
You know what fucked up my whole world is when I realized that Gargamel was a member of the church. Like, he's a monk. And I did not realize that until I was like 23 years old.
I didn't realize that until I was today years old.
You didn't know Gargamel was a monk?
I didn't pay enough attention to it.
You didn't think about how he was dressed and how his hair was cut?
You know, there was so much shit like to this like today's, age. I think back on cartoons and I'm just like, I never got that. Like, I never really, as a kid, like, you never think about stuff because you just don't care and you're just so innocent. They're fucking cartoons!
Yeah, exactly.
And then now, like, you analyze it and you're like, but what is the deeper meaning behind omelette du fromage from Dexter's Laboratory? And
seriously.
Sometimes there's nothing, but sometimes you're just like, oh, that's
As
bad.
an adult, I found myself many a times trying to figure out what went wrong with a Dr. Doofenshmirtz plan.
See, but you get to have more contact with cartoons because you got kids and you don't know how to raise your kids, so you just plop them in front of the TV every day, every hour of every day.
Is that not okay? Like, what else do you do with them?
You could put them in a box and give them like a bag and have them play for real.
I do give them a box and a bag to put over their head and let them play Spaceman.
Well, then I apologize. I was wrong. You do well.
I just realized that you're criticizing me when you were my live-in nanny. All you did all day, every day was put on little baby bum and sit my child in
That
front
was
of the
for my
television.
enjoyment.
No, to the point where you were driving yourself mad singing the songs.
That was for my enjoyment. I love that shit. That shit's my jam. I brush my teeth
I come
to
home
it.
and you'd
I
be so
love
upset. You're
Little
like,
Baby
why is that kid's name Jacus? That's not a real name.
It could be
And
Jacob,
every time
but
somebody
no.
said the word pig, you're like, pig? Super pig.
I did do that.
Yeah. And
Super Pig was my favorite. I root for the underdog, and he didn't get enough
And it
screen
didn't matter
time,
where
so.
in the house you were. When True came on and the Tree song comes on, you were running into the living room and you would do the entire thing to the point where my 5-year-old was like, Alicia, stop it.
Wishing tree, share with me. Tiny wishes, 1, 2, 3.
Here we go.
It's a good
It is a
song.
good song. It's catchy, and that's the thing. But yeah, no.
Man, a wish.
We're focusing on the now. I want to talk about
Yeah, okay.
when things weren't everywhere. It just felt like Saturday morning cartoons were like a gift from the heavens, you know?
No Netflix, no
and
streaming. It was
you couldn't
phones.
watch 4 episodes of Smurfs in a row, so it didn't matter if Smurfs sucked because it was only a half hour long, and then you were going to move on to something that was better.
Right,
so
let's,
take us back to your childhood. What was it? 2011.
12.
Worse. Yeah. So take us to
Yeah, we're gonna. It's sad. It's depressing. My cartoon
let's
stories.
go back
but-
to little Alicia's house. You were a little Irino.
Oh well, like Saturday morning. I mean, we couldn't really watch TV. My Saturday morning cartoons are fucking Jerry Springer. So
Like that was what was going on in your house, or you were watching the show?
a little bit of both. But then Maury, that show was much shit. And then Judge Judy. Like I was all.
This is
I'm
all
still
daytime
about
stuff.
this.
Did you ever have a weekend
I know.
off?
But I was not. This is what really broke my heart. I was obsessed with SpongeBob. I still am obsessed with SpongeBob. My stepdad absolutely despised SpongeBob. So when we finally got DirecTV or Dish he was working for one of the companies, so we kind of, I don't know if we got it for free, but we got it. He parental blocked Nickelodeon because he could not stand hearing SpongeBob's voice.
My
on the
wife
TV.
now can't stand SpongeBob's voice and won't let the kids watch it.
I know that actually, and it breaks my heart. Because I just want somebody to throw out SpongeBob references with. I still do. She just doesn't get it.
Yeah, no, but you go deep cuts on SpongeBob. Like SpongeBob came out when I was a grown ass man, so. But it was the first time I remember cartoons coming back on my radar.
Physically.
Yeah, no, not
Physically,
mentally.
a
I was
grown-ass.
like, it was right at my level mentally. Still is.
Have you allowed your son to ever watch SpongeBob?
Yeah, he's seen SpongeBob and he likes it, but as soon as mom comes home or is in the room, that shit gets turned off. So, but when I was little, for me, cartoons were such a like private thing. Like I had a little sister. She never liked cartoons. So for me, cartoons were like, I got up before anybody else in the family. I went out in the living room with my little blankie and I'd put a pillow on the floor and I'd freaking watch cartoons. And like, that was my alone time. And then my sister would get up at some point, but she never was interested. So she would be doing her own thing. So it was just always me in the living room by myself watching cartoons. And like, I really feel like I was parented more by cartoons than I was by my actual parents.
I used to argue with my siblings when we would watch.
Well, I can
TV.
imagine. Yeah, you lived in like a crazy house with many people, and you probably only had one TV. So I bet it was a fight for what you were going to watch every day.
How did you know? It's like you were there. That's so weird. Yeah, we would fight. Well, we wouldn't fight over like what to watch because we had it was just very, very limited on what we could watch. We would fight over what character we were. And so like I remember, I know it's not cartoons, but Teletubbies. Like we would watch Teletubbies, and I always wanted to be Poe because he was the ditziest, like funniest one. And my oldest sister was like, "Bitch, no!" And she's like 5 years older than me, and she was like a teenager, and she was arguing with us. She's like, "Bitch, no, I'm Poe," and I'm like, "You could die. I'm Poe," and then. You know, what is it, Tinky Winky? We always told my other sister she was Tinky Winky, and she'd be like, yeah. So we would argue in that sense, and then like my parents would come out and be like, you guys need to turn the shit off. You guys, it's making you argue, blah blah blah, and then we'd argue about something else.
Right.
So I think that's how we got cartoons banned. Well, I got a list. I got a list of cartoons. If you wanna, we can talk about that.
You're the one that brought up doing Saturday morning cartoons, and it sounds to me like you've never watched a Saturday morning cartoon. Again, Teletubbies, not on the weekend. Those were on weekdays. Yeah.
What? I just don't remember being a kid. I think that's my problem.
Pre 9 years old blocked out for some reason.
I do. This is weird. Don't say anything that'll bring up repressed memories, though. I'm not about to have a mental breakdown on this podcast.
I don't want to trigger anything. But back in the day, like, for me, Saturday morning cartoons were like, I wanted the superhero shows, but I put up with the other shows too. Programming back then also, it would be a fight. I can't even imagine growing up in your house, because programming back then was more like, there were girl shows and there were guy shows. Like, there was Rainbow Bright, and there was Care Bears, and there was Strawberry Shortcake.
I did. Oh, shit. I know that shit.
And my sister wanted to watch those shows, and I would not watch them, even though, like, I was super weirdly interested in Care Bears, but I was like, no, that's a girl show. That's for queers.
Announcement, everybody. Girls are queers.
Well, seriously, like, back in the 80s, like, you were queer if you liked, like, girl stuff. And there was a guy that was in my first grade who liked one of the Care Bears. Like, he liked the one with the cloud. And he would try to tell us, like, it was okay to like that one because it was like he had a storm cloud, so he was manly.
Was it the blue one?
Yeah, it was blue.
I had that one. Like, I had it as an action figure.
I bet you did.
It was my favorite thing.
You were the little bear with the storm cloud over your head all the time.
Yeah.
You're a horrible trash wife.
Oh my god. I think something just came forward in my memory.
I triggered you. I'm sorry.
I do remember Care Bears. That was some good shit.
Boys shows though were like Smurfs, Heathcliff. Remember Heathcliff?
Oh.
Heathcliff was like you compared to Garfield. Like, I was Garfield. Like, I was loved and I was in a home. And Heathcliff was a trash cat that lived in the garbage, and he would eat.
Oh, I do remember.
He would eat fish skeletons.
I still do eat fish. I mean, is that bad?
Which just the head of the fish was still on it, and the tail was still on it, but all the rest was just a skeleton. And that's what he was always trying to get.
I mean, did they prove that it's like bad for your digestive system? Because I'll
sure
stop. I could stop anytime I want.
Fine. All those little bones, all those little rib bones get into you and help digest your food.
That's why it hurts to eat. Oops. Well, I remember. Actually, I had a pretty good memory, memory of a cartoon, Animaniacs, which I know your son. I don't know if he still does.
He got down on some Animaniacs, when I introduced that to him. It always makes me a little bit proud when I like show him a show and he like takes to it, like something from my past.
Is it mostly because you're like, yes, no, I can watch this too? Yeah,
kind of.
I love cartoons. I was trying to say that as an insult, but like I would do that too. I know. So
yeah, you forget that like you lived in my house while the Animaniacs thing was happening, and you were like singing the Animaniacs song all the time, and you called yourself Dot.
Shut up. I'd look in the mirror and I'd come out all painted face and everything.
Look, I'm Dot, and then you used to call your
I do
kids
remember
Yakko and Wacko. You would paint them up all crazy and come out with no shirt on. It was very distracting for the family.
Speaking Yakko, I do remember. I was in 8th grade. No, I was in early 9th grade. Yeah, this was right before I moved back to Arizona, and I was in Texas. And our teacher in our like geography class had this giant like world map covering an entire wall. It was pretty cool. And she goes, I want you guys to do something fun to learn all the countries in the world. And she put on, what is it, Yakko's World, like the song that he does to learn all, and he points to all the countries, and everyone else was like, how are we gonna learn this? And I'm like, I already know it. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia. Anyway, I did the whole song, and we had to point. No, it goes forever.
That was amazing, though. Damn.
That's how I learned all the countries in the world, was from Yakko's World, from that.
But that's seriously
song.
Okay.
And they say cartoons don't
No,
teach
they
you
do,
anything,
and they did. Back in the day, I feel like all the cartoons, whether we knew it or not, had a message. And cartoons today don't have like a moral message. If anything, they teach you to like talk shit to your parents and don't respect adults. And it's mostly just colors fucking you in the face, like and like there's no substance to it.
First of all, rude that you hummed the song I just sang. Second, but do you think because we're adults now that we've just engulfed our parents' mindset when we were kids about cartoons? Because we were always arguing with our parents, like, no, this is good, it's educational, and we just because we wanted to keep watching it. And they're like, it's gonna fry your brain, and here they crack an egg into a frying pan and say, this is your brain on cartoons.
Well, no, and every generation I think does have that, where they think the next generation is going to be mind stupid because they're not doing what the first generation did, you know? Like, I look at my kid doesn't even watch shows now. He watches clips and he watches YouTube stuff. He watches other people playing games or other kids unwrapping presents, you know?
My nieces and nephews will watch. So I think YouTube is like their Saturday morning.
It is,
cartoons.
but at least our shows had a beginning, middle, and end. It had a story, even if it didn't have a moral. Like, I tell him, I'm like, you have to get off the computer, go watch a show that has a story, that you have to, like, follow characters and not be mentally, I can't say it, but retarded. I don't want to offend anybody out there, but I don't want my kid.
Yeah, but you're saying the R word, you're saying girls are queers, you're gender specifying cartoons. What next? You're gonna gender specify toys.
Here's the thing about the Care Bears thing, all right? I always liked it, but I had to ostracize this kid or else I would be ostracized.
God, you're always a shit. Well, what's weird is my niece, going back to the YouTube thing, my nieces and nephews, they watch on YouTube other kids playing with toys.
Yeah, like the unpacking videos
it's so
is
weird.
Ridiculous to me.
I mean, no, these are videos that, like, I mean, they're dolls. It's just videos of other kids playing with dolls, having their own storyline, and just, I don't know, it just is trippy. And I'm like, don't you want to do that? And I don't know if it's like, maybe we're coming into a world where, like, personal connection isn't a thing.
Oh, weird. I wonder what could be causing that. You literally do not have to leave your house now for anything. You can have McDonald's delivered to you, and you don't even have to speak to a person to order it.
Okay, I'll just say blessing and a curse. It's a
it
blessing
is.
and a
Things
curse.
are becoming easier, and we have access to everything. It's like we're talking about with, like, the cartoons. Like, you can just binge a whole season of whatever cartoon
Looney
you're
Tunes,
watching.
I
Yeah,
know.
you can watch all of
And I just
Animaniacs. There was, like, when we were kids, if you missed one, you were fucked. You had to wait 6 months till that one came back around again.
You were fucked. And then, like, you couldn't keep watching because you're like, well, what happened? I don't get it. I don't understand.
No, you
the cartoons that had, like,
there was no
shut up.
like Tiny Toon Adventures. Like, if you missed one, you were gonna be all right. Like, you could pick it back up the next time. Not that much happened to Plucky Duck that you couldn't figure out the storyline anymore.
Can you just, like, for once ever, just be nice to me?
Yes, as soon as you stop saying stupid shit, then I'll be nice to you. I promise.
All right, I've got this list of cartoons.
All right, let's do your list. You're
And
really harping on this fucking list. Let's hear your fucking list.
Well, this is a list that somebody rated the 80s and 90s Saturday morning cartoons from best to worst.
Okay, we'll give them credit so we're not, like, ripping them off.
I don't know. It's ranker.com. I just
Ranker.
Googled it.
Okay, well, Ranker, that's who did it. So, all right, let's start with, you want to do 80s or 90s first?
They're all mixed.
What,
so
Scott?
let's start with a number. Guess what? Just pick a number, any number. I'll tell you what cartoon.
Let's just do.
Damn, is this like through
No,
100?
we're just gonna do.
It is through
That's
100.
crazy. We're just doing 10.
Rainbow Bright is number 99.
Rainbow Bright, I was always interested in. That was another one, a girl cartoon, but I was interested in her powers because I didn't really know what they were. Mm-hmm. Do you know what Rainbow Bright's powers are?
Yeah, the power of being sexy and awesome.
She was kind of sexy. Maybe that had something to do with it. Speaking of which, I had this real weird sexual thing about Punky Brewster.
I don't think it's weird. I think everybody had a sexual thing about Monkey.
Really? You had it too? Like you used to flick the baby bean to Punky?
That's disgusting. I told you on the last one I don't like that. Actually, I've told you many times in life that I don't like that.
Did you ever fear that Alf was a rapist?
All right. Hold still, Lucky. I'll be off your back in a minute. The only good cat is a stir-fried cat.
Oh no. Repressed memories.
I
You
just
did it
triggered you
again.
All right, let's do this. Let's start at 10.
God.
What's number 10?
10. Oh,
We're gonna
but
count down to
I saw
1.
it at Eddie. I know, but all right. 10. Number 10 is the Jetsons.
Ugh. I effing hated the Jetsons.
I didn't get into
Never
it.
liked
yeah.
the Jetsons. I just thought it was really
boring
boring
to me.
Yeah. And it was a later cartoon.
And I'm like-
it came on late in the day where I was just like cartooned out.
Isn't that on Boomerang?
It is now. Like all the old stuff's on Boomerang.
All right, number 9. Not bad. Animaniacs.
Animaniacs. Now that was a classic, a newer classic. Steven Spielberg. It doesn't matter if he's touching movies, if he's touching boobies, or if he's touching cartoons. It's all gold.
Were you? How long have you been waiting to throw that out?
Literally, like I thought of it weeks ago, and I've been trying to fit it in. That's what she said.
That's what she said. Oh.
And yeah. All right.
And
And there's no joke there.
all right, moving on. Number 8, X-Men, the animated series.
That was amazing, and that was one of the first really good superhero cartoons.
That one was like a rare gem for me. It wouldn't come on. I wouldn't get to see it all the time, but when I did,
that was a Saturday morning thing, and Saturday morning started to do like a superhero block on like Fox, where they would do The Tick, which was the best fucking cartoon out there. Still to this day, The Tick cartoon is the best. And then
aren't they? So did they already come out with the new? The new
new one on Hulu, and it's actually really good. Like I really was upset that they didn't use Patrick Warburton again. He's so good, and he was so good as the Tick. And that show just didn't have the budget to like be a good superhero show. The costume looked great, but it just didn't have the budget to be a real good show. Now the new one,
you should have been. Why weren't you the Tick?
Dude, I would love to be, but just finding a way to make that big rubber suit is like impossible, man.
You spent all year making it.
I know, but I'm not good at making suits.
You're not good at anything.
When I was a kid and I would dress up like Batman, I seriously would put on like a towel and my underoos with no shirt on, and like I would pull my mom's blue socks way up to my knees like they were boots, and then I didn't have anything that was like a Batman helmet, but I did have a Double Dare helmet that had like a little cup on the top of it where you would try to throw a ball into it, but then it had this blue visor that went over your face, and to me, I felt inside that thing like I was Batman.
Jason, how old were you? This was like last week.
Yeah,
you
no,
did
seriously,
this.
my wife is constantly like slapping me because like I hide in like that hallway closet where the towels are. Like I knock all the towels out and I climb up in there and I wait for her to walk by, and then I'm like, I'm Batman. And she's like, Jesus Christ, between you and Alicia, you've ruined Batman for me.
Hey, give me my socks back.
Are those my socks? How about you? And then I jump out. And then I Scooby-Doo run on the tile because I can't get going fast enough.
Oh,
Good
my
times.
God. That's amazing. All right, number 7. I already know you're going to love this one, and I think you're really proud that you got your kid onto this one. I think he was onto it. Or maybe he just kept asking questions because he didn't get it. HeMan.
HeMan, yes. I love me some HeMan, dude. And
Yeah, you do.
maybe it's a little homoerotic. Maybe it was. I don't know. I watch like the videos now where you see like Skeletor battling HeMan. HeMan's just on his back, just like, and you're like, get him, HeMan.
You pointed that out to me when I was there.
Yeah, it's super homosexual.
And I was
stuff.
like, what a really sexually induced cartoon. I love it.
I
want more.
Like we didn't know that like George Michael was gay in the 80s. We didn't know the HeMan was like not wearing a shirt. He was in his little fuzzy underwear and he was like humping the bad guys.
And as a kid, like you don't, like you're so innocent, you don't even think about it. And then as an adult, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is he fucking that other guy though? And why are the kids watching? You cover your eyes.
Seriously, like you could walk in on your parents fucking and you don't think, like you don't go to school and be like, I caught my parents fucking. You tell your friends, you're like, I walked in and my parents were fighting naked. I'm afraid there might be 2 Christmases pretty soon.
They were fighting naked. My dad said that it was just a really big bear hug. I don't know. My mom didn't look like she was enjoying it very much.
No, she had her mouth wide open and her eyes were rolled back in her head.
All right, number 6. Number 6. Tiny Toon Adventures.
Tiny Toon Adventures get a dose of comedy. Here's Acme Acres. It's a whole wide world apart. We stand alone or bed, cartoon work and fart. Yeah, no.
I kind of remember watching a handful of episodes of this.
I love.
It's just one of those. I'd watched it because it was on.
I love Tiny Toon Adventures. I enjoyed. I grew up on the old Looney Tunes, so like I was into Looney Tunes anyway. And then they made those characters like.
You are a Looney Tune.
Rude. Just because I have a little male pattern baldness. I'm starting to look like Elmer Fudd. That doesn't mean I'm a Looney Tune, Alicia. That was rude.
Wait. Was he in Tiny Toon?
Elmer Fudd?
Adventures?
No. They kind of turned the human characters, like put all the human characters together and made them into Montana Max and Elmira, who was all loved her kitties. She was always squishing kitties. She's like, I love you and I hug you and I kill you.
So, is that Sonia?
That's exactly Sonia, dude. She walks in with a chokehold on the cat and his whole long body is just hanging. And Sonia's like, I love a kitty.
I love a kitty.
Like, the kitty started to, like, you could see it turning blue through its fur.
Help!
Somebody kill me!
And you guys are just sitting
we're
back
like,
taking
oh,
pictures.
how cute. Look how she loves it. Yeah, no. But I love me some Tiny Toon Adventures because of one little skit that they did on there. And it was Baby Plucky when he would take off his diaper and flush it down the toilet. And he would say, diaper go down the hole.
Oh, yeah. You would say that every time.
Every
time you throw a diaper
as
away.
a grown-ass man, I still say stuff like that. Every time I flush the toilet, I say, poo-poo go down the hole.
See, cartoons did teach us. They taught us a lot.
They did.
Lot. They taught us how to flush.
They taught us not to flush things down the toilet.
Except for
something cartoons didn't teach me that I needed to know is that when I was a little kid, I had a magnet, like a big heavy magnet. It was actually, my mom had brought it home. My mom's a nurse. And it was this big magnet that you put over a person's pacemaker and it like restarts it. So it's like a fucking serious magnet. I put it on the TV and the whole screen just went right to the magnet. And the TV was ruined forever. I never seen my dad so fucking pissed. Like he wanted to strangle me, but I was only like 5.
No matter how old people get, or like how things and technology has changed, throughout the years, one thing will never change is that when somebody else breaks your TV, you cannot be more infuriated.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter, like, if it's the old boxy ones, if it's like the very first generation or the newest flat screen, you will be just as angry. I was
playing at my friend's house when I was a little kid, and he kicked a soccer ball in the living room, and I dodged it thinking I was all smooth, and it fucking hit the TV and cracked that bitch, and we were busted.
Okay, number 5 is Tom and Jerry.
Ugh. I hate Tom and Jerry.
Class.
I've always hated Tom and Jerry. That was always, they would say on the soap operas would be over at my grandma's house. My grandma used to take care of me, and she lived in her trailer. And I know I was almost there. But the soap operas would be over and they'd be like, up next, the dynamic duo. And I was like, Batman's coming on! And then it was like, Tom and Jerry! And I was like, I'm going to slit my wrists.
I liked Tom and Jerry. I was Tom.
My
Jerry.
sister got a Tom and Jerry tattoo and was like, remember how much we loved Tom and Jerry when we were kids? And I was like, I don't remember that at all. I don't remember you even liking cartoons. But hey, man.
I don't think I would ever get a tattoo of a cartoon character.
Hey, I have the Joker, so how dare you?
I know. All right, number
I thought
4.
you had that tattoo of
Speaking
Mr. Magoo falling into your butt crack.
How'd you see that one? That's like in there.
James told me about it.
Son of
He
a
goes,
bitch.
I just when I think I'm about to really get in there, it looks like Mr. Magoo's gonna walk into my dick, and it upsets me.
It is. It's a really good cock block, and that's exactly what I got it for. So. Oh my god, everybody's gonna think I'm serious. All right, number 4, Batman, the animated series.
That should be number 1. That is.
Well, it's not. It's
show.
number 4. Well, too bad. Number 4. Number 3, DuckTales. Woohoo.
DuckTales. Woohoo. When I was a kid, we used to, of course, change everything to poop and farts, which, well, I still do.
DuckTales.
We used to say, duck farts, PU.
What is it? A song that I sang today at work? I can't remember, but I was singing it out loud, and it was on the speakers in the store,
nice.
And it was just all about poo, pee, and
That's
farts.
all we used to do with every song, every Disney movie. Like Aladdin was, Prince Ali's gotta go pee, where's the bathroom?
Oh, that's a good one. That sounds like my song. Did you take that from?
No.
Okay. I don't know if I trust you. Number 2 is Looney Tunes.
No, see, that's old people. Like my parents were Looney Tunes people,
No, it's okay. Accept it and accept
What
your
I love
age.
about Looney Tunes, though, is that they smoke, they shoot each other with guns.
And there's like a lot of sexual
Lots
innuendos.
of sexual
in that show.
innuendos. Even Bugs Bunny.
And as a kid, you're like, oh, why is his carrot rising so much? I don't understand. And then as an adult, you're like, yeah, get this shit.
Even Bugs Bunny was like doing like sexy lady stuff and trying to like transgender, like attract Elmer Fudd. And it always worked. Elmer Fudd was like, I'm going to fuck that rabbit.
And it's crazy because it's like, the older generation, they're so terrified of transgendered people.
And we were
and
cool
it's
with
like,
it.
well, hold on, wait a minute, but it's okay when Bugs Bunny does it. You need to get your shit straight.
We're okay with it because we were brought up on Popples. I'm pretty sure they were transgender.
And then Teletubbies. Nobody knows what gender they are, but you fucking love them. You just fucking
what are
love
the
them.
Teletubbies? Period. Like usually, like
don't ask
that's
questions.
like what is Pluto? Or no, we know what Pluto is. I meant what is Goofy?
I'm like, hold on, what?
Goofy, yeah.
Goofy.
It's like what is Goofy?
Goofy's.
He's not a dog because he talks and he wears clothes. Pluto does not.
Goofy's a dog.
Not a dog. If anything, Goofy's a walrus. And he's dating a cow, so what's up with that?
What is Goofy?
Here's what I found.
Anthropomorphic dog with a southern drawl.
What's
Typically wears a turtleneck and vest with pants, shoes, white gloves. Hey, this sounds like you. And a tall hat originally designed as a rumpled fedora.
I do relate to Goofy.
Oh, he's a close friend of Mickey Mouse. Can we also just say, speaking of cartoons, it is Mickey Mouse's 90th.
Oh, happy birthday, Mickey, you old fuck. Stan Lee died at 95, so you only got 5 years, Mickey.
He only got 5 years. I bet he's getting some right now. Getting some of that birthday sick. Okay, this is gross.
Yeah,
anyway,
seriously.
number 1.
Wait, you didn't do number 2.
Number 1. Yes, it was Looney Tunes.
You know what was good, though? Was Space Jam. that was pretty baller. See what I did there?
Wait, aren't they... Ball is life.
Space baller.
Aren't they making a second one?
I heard they
already
are,
made it?
with like Kobe Bryant or something. Like, didn't he like piss on little girls?
No, that's R. Kelly. You see, and now you're racist. You're thinking every black person's the same. You think every black person pees on a 16-year-old. No, that's just our special, close to our hearts, R. Kelly.
Well, he needed to...
And somebody had to fucking do it. Somebody needs to get peed on. And he saw the opportunity. He's like, look, I don't want to do it. I got to do it. I'm going to
piss
pee
on
on
a bitch. That's what I do.
I gotta and now you're calling women bitches. Now you're sexist. God.
Damn it! I wanted this to be a clean episode, and I wanted it to be a happy episode. And you know what? It's just been nothing but hate mongering and racitivity and
and
I just want this country to be great again.
Nice.
All right, what's number one?
Number one. Just to make this work. But anyway, drum roll. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. They're the world's most fearsome fighting team. Dump-a-dump-bump-bump. They'll let off some steam. Kicking foot plants.
And they eat pizza.
Pizza eating Ninja Turtles.
It's actually in the title. Pizza eating Ninja Turtles. They're teenagers and the turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles changed everything for cartoons. It was the fucking best thing that ever happened to my life. And I collected all the toys. The show was literally just trying to sell me toys, and I totally bought into it. I used to go and do my chores every week, and my mom would take me to Target and let me pick out a brand new Ninja Turtle. I had them all. It was so glorious. And when school started, they started playing Ninja Turtles in the morning. And I used to set an alarm so that I could get up because my day wasn't complete unless I woke up early and watched Ninja Turtles before school.
I didn't watch that much Ninja Turtles.
You disgusting trash person.
I know. I cannot name all the Ninja Turtles. I know there's Michelangelo. There's Scuttle. There's
Rasputin. There's Rasputin.
There's
he wears the yellow mask.
The Rasputin. And there's also, I do know like the sensei's name. I do know Splinter.
That's the rat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I just said. The rat.
Do you know the bad guys?
Which one?
There's one main bad guy for Ninja Turtles. Anybody would be able to answer that question.
Mojo Jojo.
Yep, that's him.
Yes. Fucking got it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Did I ever tell you the story?
You're doing that thing with your armpits where you put your hands in your sweaty armpits and then smell them.
Superstar. No, like this shirt that I'm wearing. I have this weird thing about like the fabric in my shirt. Like it has to go. Like it has to be tucked in my armpit.
I can't
like I like
stand
tighter
fabric
shirts
in my armpit. It really bothers me.
See, I have to have it because if my armpit skin like touches itself, like when my arms are down, I get really sweaty.
That's because
and then I only sweat when I'm cold.
You should grow your armpit hair out real long, and then that wouldn't bother you anymore.
I should.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to save on razors. I mean, I'm already not shaving anything else, so why not?
Guys love a hairy pit, let me tell you. Yep.
Really?
All right, so let's say, what was your... we were missing out on some huge cartoons here. People will be pissed.
Yeah, we are.
G.I. Joe?
That's all right.
Transformers?
G.I. Joe. Sorry.
No, Transformers is the business.
No, let me tell you one.
With those movies.
Fucking Rugrats. That shit.
I went to the theater
that
and saw
was
Rugrats in the theater. Yes.
The movie? Oh, that's so cool. You know, I think they're bringing back a Reptar bars.
Oh yeah.
That turn your tongue. What is it, blue or purple or something?
Yeah.
Green. Anyway, that Rugrats. Thundercats.
Ho! That was the best.
Thundercats use a hoe.
All right, moving forward, the real Ghostbusters. That's on Netflix now, and that's still a baller show. I'm surprised how like legit and scary that show still is to this day. There are some disturbing episodes.
I'm not scared of anything.
Except for memories before you were 9 years old.
I don't think I'm afraid of that because I don't know them.
As long as nothing triggers me, I'm fine. But so
Dexter's Laboratory.
Now we're getting into the 90s. The 90s was like a whole different thing. You know, the 90s wasn't always about just selling toys. It was about making quality cartoons.
Did you ever watch Rocket Power?
No.
And they have like the handshake. Oogly, oogly, oogly. That's their handshake.
I remember Dexter's Lab. I remember Johnny Bravo.
Oh, okay. For Halloween, I really wanted to be, because we were thinking of doing a Saturday morning cartoon theme for work.
Nice.
And I was like, please, let's do it. And everybody voted Toy Story. And I'm like, I worked at Disney, and I mean, I love it, but no, thank you. But we did it anyway.
Could have been
so
Frozen.
I was the Pixar lamp.
That was classy too. You look like a sick chihuahua.
This is actually the sweater I wore for my Halloween costume.
I noticed.
Anyway, but I really wanted to be a female Johnny Bravo.
Oh yeah, I've seen some good female Johnny Bravos too. Some good cosplays.
Mine would have been the best.
What about Invader Zim?
Doug. Did you ever watch Doug?
Doug was one of the ones that my friend had a little brother that was like watching Doug all the time, and his dad hated Doug, and he'd walk in and go, turn that shit off, and he'd just turn the TV off just while he's watching it. Just walk in, turn it off.
I never really watched Doug.
No, I never.
But Invader Zim, I had a lot of friends that watched Invader Zim, and they would all make like references, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love that. But I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It was so quotable, and it was so weird, you know. And the little robot Gurr was so funny, you know. He was like, tacos! And
I do know that because all of my friends said that, and I was like, I love tacos. I get that. Relatable.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing we do really gotta talk about, Pokemon.
Pokemon, that stings my asshole. Because Pokemon, again, came out when I was an adult. I've never understood it. And now my kid is all about the Pikachu and the Charmander and the...
Charmander.
all of it. And I don't get it.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I could do, yeah. I love Pokemon. I used to have every single Pokemon card. I had Pokemon action figures. I had the Pokeball. I had the fucking Pokedex where it tells you what Pokemon's what. And then they started getting like over 150 Pokemon. And then I was like, oh, okay. So now we're getting like more. Like you just make this decision. Right. That's cool. I can memorize more. Like I can do that. And then I couldn't. And then I'm like, fuck this show. And then I stopped watching it.
Yeah, no, it got out of control. And then, like, Ash wasn't the main character anymore or something. Like, stuff got crazy. Like, characters started disappearing. Like, that was one that had, like, continuity. Like, if you missed an episode, you were screwed.
Yeah.
The only I know two Pokemon. I know Pikachu, of course, which everybody knows. And have you seen the trailer for, like, this new live-action thing with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I didn't even hear anything about it. And I just watched it when it came out, the trailer, and I was like, is Ryan Reynolds just doing everything now? And then also I feel like he's never, like, now since Deadpool, he's never doing a character. He's just doing himself.
He is a character. Yeah.
He's not even doing his wife anymore. He's just doing himself.
Can you imagine being his wife and him just like talking all the way through sex, and you're just like, it's Ryan, please focus.
I feel like we would have a very good dynamic.
Oh no, I know you would. Together. Yeah, you two would be like never like, shut up. Good. Yeah.
No, and we would probably try to out-talk each other, and it would be a competition. And
you would definitely try to out-joke each other.
He thinks that he would win. Yeah. But I would win. I mean, have you seen these hands? Somebody told me today I have really big hands.
Whoa, now that you mention it. You do have big man hands, and they're very veiny.
What's that?
It's the hair on the knuckles that sets them apart, really.
Well, it's funny because he goes, yeah, you have man. I'm like, it's okay. You can say it. I got man hands. And I like showed it to him. Like, did you want to take a closer look at my man hands?
Well, you do have a tattoo on your finger, like a ghetto ass chica.
Wow, there you go again, being racist. All right, next cartoon, Powerpuff Girls. I fucking love Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, my son digs that too, and I got a little worried. I was like, should he be liking Powerpuff Girls?
Powerpuff Girls is the shit.
What are you doing?
Sorry, my skin's dry.
That's how you moisten your skin? Is by licking it like a weird lizard and then making that noise? And you wonder why I make fun of you. Like, it's because you do shit like that on the reg.
You do you, okay? And don't worry about me when I do me. Yeah, what is it? What is that character in Powerpuff Girls? The red, like drag queen kind of crabby claw guy. Girl. What is his name?
Mr.
Oh,
Krabs?
him, isn't it? No, it's just. I think his name is just him.
Him.
Maybe, I don't know. That character, just whenever they laughed, like made me have nightmares. But like, they were also my favorite at the same time. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see. Right. So it's a weird like adrenaline rush anytime I saw it. All right, what about Rocko's Modern Life?
I never saw Rocko's Modern Life. I know of it. I know it's like a kangaroo guy.
Rocko's Modern Life. Rocko's Modern Life. I think he was like an Australian.
Yeah, he's a kangaroo, you stupid.
You're stupid.
Watch your face change when I called you stupid. You were so instantly offended. You went from like having a big old Rocko's Modern Life smile to like, oh, I'm having a cramp. I gotta stand up.
Karma. Instant karma.
It was instant karma. Oh
I love it, and I hate you.
That's unacceptable. This is my radio broadcast.
You are the poop.
Speaking of which, this is a little off topic, but so my parents are so old that I told them that I'm making a podcast, which first off, they just looked at me blankly. They don't know what a podcast is. Secondly,
what is that?
What's a podcast? I'm like, it's like
you say a podcast.
It's like a radio show that I created, so nobody can. They're like, you're on the radio? And I'm like, no. What station? What station can we listen to your show on, boy? And I'm like, no, it's not like that. Like, you download it. What? You mean
you're on the AMs or the FM?
You're on the internet? Do I have to log in?
Oh, it's not that porn sites that your father watches all the time, is it?
I told him. I said, you guys can listen to it right on your phone. And you can set it up where you just subscribe, and then you get every new episode, and you can listen to it. And
they were like, you can listen to stuff on your phone.
You subscribe to it? It comes in the mail?
Is it like when Netflix first started?
Yeah, right. They don't know what that is either. I told them about DirecTV, and they were like, what? A satellite from space?
Does it come down and give you things? How does it? I don't understand.
We don't have a backyard. We can't fit that big satellite back there. No, not like the ones in the 80s, Mom and Dad. Like, it fits on your roof. Oh, I don't want a big satellite on my roof. What if it hails? And we live in Phoenix. Like, it's ever going to hail.
Hey, monsoon season. Also, your parents are going to finally get, a hold of this and listen to it. And they're like, I fucking hate that.
You know what?
Kid.
They can do that.
I've always hated you.
Because you know what time it is right now? It's Thanksgiving time. And I called my parents and said, this is the first year that they've been not in Flagstaff. They've been in the same city as me. And I said, hey, guys, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? And you know what they said to me? We just want to be alone.
Oh.
That's what my parents told me about Thanksgiving.
Well, that's weird because your wife asked me what I'm doing for Thanksgiving, and I said, well, what are you guys doing? And you both said, we just want to be alone. And I was trying to invite myself over.
No, that's not true. Even when you were, when we barely knew you, and you were with that guy that we don't talk about. we invited you to the house to break bread with us on Thanksgiving, and you showed up in full Indian attire with the headdress and everything, and you tried to show us how to plant corn, and we were like, this is weird. This is why we don't invite you to things.
I think I did show up. Do you remember that minivan I had, and I had to time out when I was going to drive because it would overheat and it would smoke really bad.
It smelled like sour ass and fast food bags.
Well, that wasn't my fault. The sour ass was my fault, but the other stuff wasn't. I just remember I had to go. My sister actually asked me, "Hey, can you bring me a pregnancy test
on Thanksgiving?"
And on Thanksgiving, right before I was going to go to your house, and I was like, well, I kind of have to like. I can only really drive one place, and then I have to sit and wait for at least a half hour so my car can cool down, and then I can go like, more. And she was like, well, why? And I'm like, because I have a shit car. I don't know. And she's like, all right, I really, really need you to do this. I'm like, oh, fine. And I had to text. I think I had to like text or call you guys. I'm like, I'm gonna be a little bit late. I'm gonna wait for my stupid sister to take a pregnancy test. Anyway, she runs in, comes back out. I'm like, well, she's like, what does this mean? And I'm like, it means you're pregnant, bitch. And she's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, when you peed on it, like, did you watch it like turn? And she was like, yeah. I'm like, well, how fast did it turn? She's like, it showed up right away. I'm like, girl, you super pregnant then. Yeah, it was weird. Anyway, back to cartoons.
Yeah, cartoons.
I remember, so I really loved Fairly Odd Parents. Because I really wanted fairy godparents to come take me away when I was younger.
That's so
I felt
sad,
like I was.
Alicia.
I highly just I got really close to relating to Cosmo, the green-haired fairy. See, and men could be fairies too. Anyway, and yeah, I really, really love that show because it was all magic and stuff. It was super cool. But you know what? I also recently found out. Did you ever watch Ren and Stimpy?
Yes. Stimpy, you're such an idiot.
I think it was.
I feel like you and me are very Ren and Stimpy like. Guess which one you are?
Which one? I was gonna say, which one am I?
You're doing the Ren face right now.
You're Ren. I think it was he who shall not be named showed me the rated R version of Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, and it was the most. I just remember being really disturbed by it.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy was kind of gross. It towed a line.
The rated R version, really, here's the line, and they just
really.
Cow over the moon kind of thing. I just remember being really disturbed by it, but it was, I think they were gay lovers, which that's not the disturbing part to me. I do want to make that clear. What the disturbing part was that I think they were raping each other. It was definitely did not look consensual to me, and that's what was disturbing.
Why was
and it looked like they were.
Why was there intercourse happening anyway?
Like I said, it was the rated. It was the NC-17.
Why can't
version,
we even talk about cartoons without talking about getting railed and raped and all the R words?
Well, it's Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy. It's a weird show. I didn't like it. I never did.
I always got them confused. Which one's Ren? Ren's the big fat red one, right? No, because the little dog would always go, Stimpy, you freaking idiot. So Stimpy was the other one. Ren was the little chihuahua dog.
And doesn't Stimpy just sound like a really stupid person name? Hi, I'm Stimpy.
That's not what he sounded like.
I don't know what other. I'm going down this list to. Oh, I know this was your favorite show, My Little Pony.
My Little Pony, My Little Pony. People grew up and started fucking around. What is up with that? So, is a brony somebody that dresses up like a pony and fucks? Or is that another thing? Am I mixing two?
Yeah, you are. I'm just going to say. Because in the furry
The furries! Okay, so the furries are the ones that hump each other. The bronies just are
They're
weirdos
just
that
bros that really like My Little Pony.
Why? Do you understand it?
Do I look like a brownie?
Kind of. No, you're not. You're not
Right.
fat.
That's the fair.
Look, now I
But
upset
no,
the
I-
bronies too. Damn you, Alicia.
God, you're losing 20,000 followers every episode.
Seriously.
You just
There's nothing wrong with
fuck
being
it up.
fat because I'm fat. All right, so I can say I can be a fattest because I'm like fat. Like a black person can say
I'm
the
fat.
N-word because
I'm fat in all the right places. Oh. Oh.
you're fat, pretty horrible and atrocious.
That's fat.
No, atrocious trash. You're pretty
Shut up.
horrible, atrocious trash. You're fat. That was my evil laugh.
You need it. You can work on it. Bring it back on the
All
next
right,
podcast.
thanks.
All right. Ed, Edd and Eddy. I love that show.
Again, yeah, not a. It was on. I've heard of it. You just.
What about Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Was that the one that had like a cat on his ass and a dog on the other end?
No, that's Cat Dog.
Oh. Okay.
Cat dog, alone in the world with a little cat dog. No, Courage the Cowardly Dog. It was like this house, I think, in the middle of Texas or something, in the middle of the desert. And there was Eustace, and then there was Courage, and it was this dog who would get into like crazy sci-fi situations, and he would always have to like save his old lady owner, caretaker, mom, lover, grandma, whatever. And then
Like, what more do we talk about on cartoons? I know we missed a lot. There's a lot of people that, everybody has their favorites. There's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't believe you didn't talk about. Or there might just be a bunch of people that are like, why did you just waste my time telling us the cartoons that you used to like? Because we really didn't give any information or do any research.
they're actually kind of good.
All right. Before we end this episode, we got to play a little game that I like to call Fuck, Marry, Kill. Fuck, Marry, Kill. SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy the Squirrel.
Fuck Patrick. Marry SpongeBob. Kill Sandy.
Is there a reason for any of that?
I fuck Patrick because he's a good bug. He looks like he'd be a good bug.
Yo.
And he's a star in the streets and a star in the sheets.
And he wouldn't make fun of your intelligence.
That's true. And you would always be smarter than he is. One step
I don't
ahead.
know about that, Alicia.
Marry SpongeBob because he is a workaholic, and he gonna bring home that paper. And he looks like and seems like he'd be a great team player, and he's just down for anything. You don't even have to explain it. He's just
That's
down.
true. He's very excitable.
And then Sandy, well, she's just a little squirrel
Right.
bitch. And like she can't hang. I mean, she can't even breathe underwater.
Yeah, really.
Duh.
Like it'd be easy to kill her. You just have to like poke a hole in her fish tank head thing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
she doesn't
underwater.
belong down there. She doesn't belong.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they did like a whole like serious movie about Sandy gets murdered and SpongeBob and Patrick have to solve the mystery?
And it's a hate crime. She doesn't belong.
You don't belong here, Brownie.
Go back to your country.
Oh.
Make Bikini Bottom great again.
We need to make that.
That's another cartoon that like I didn't really get the innuendos, but Bikini Bottom.
Oh yeah.
And then there's like
it's
Mr.
full of
Krabs.
stuff. Yeah.
Mr. Krabs in Bikini Bottom. You got crabs in your
Krabby
bottom.
Patty.
Krabby
I still
Patty.
call my wife's vagina the Krabby Patty. And I call my butthole the Chum Bucket.
That's the most perfect explanation.
You should have
I've
seen
ever
the
heard
look
for
I
that.
just got from my wife from off from off mic over there when I said that about her vagina.
I was a little worried about you. I saw your
I was like-
face, and
She popped into the kitchen right when I said that, and I was like, "Oh no!"
well, I can hear the papers getting filed right now.
Yeah. She gets 50% of everything that I have, which is nothing.
Which is jokes on
She
her.
gets
It's not.
half my PlayStation.
One controller. Wait, do you even have two?
Only because you gave me one when you moved.
Oh,
Oh shit.
oh. Speaking of, he who shall not be named is going to be pissed. No.
That I've got his other controller. Oh shit. All right. Well, Alicia, good podcasting. We did it again.
No
No
fooling.
fooling. We drove it home. You know how we do.
I mean, I drive home every day. Every day.
For all of our listeners out there, I just want to say this is a time of thanks. And I want to thank you for listening to this episode and all of our episodes. I want to thank you for putting up with Alicia and her disgusting, trashy ways. Her disgusting,
Yay.
trashy mouth. I'm sorry that you guys have to hear all the hate mongering and homo unerotica that comes out her mouth. I apologize for it all.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
No, we're getting great response to this podcast, Alicia, and we should thank our listeners. Say thank you to our listeners.
Oh, gracias. Thank you. I only know how to say that in 2 languages. So,
Gracias, mis
That's-
amigos.
mis amigos. It's me amigos.
This is we're gonna go off topic for a second here, but I just got a new job recently, and I deliver food to underprivileged children, which, you know, I'm not asking for applause, but now would be the appropriate time.
Snaps.
I can hear them all over the country right now. But yeah, but
that's good.
the gentleman that was training me, you know, I'm going to be dealing with a lot of Hispanic ladies who work in the kitchens and whatnot, and he said that I should speak to them in their language, and he says even when Americans try to speak in our language, you know, it makes us feel good, like you're trying to, you know, be a part of our culture, you're accepting of it. And I said, it doesn't sound good when I say it though. Like, that's why I don't say it. I think it sounds more rude, like I'm making fun of them. And
Did he teach you some
he
phrases?
said, say, hola, mi amigo. And like you just heard it, I was like, hola, mi amigo. Hola, señorita. It sounds like I'm ordering a drink poorly. I just can't do it.
I've got some phrases I'll teach you that I learned in LA.
I said,
good.
como se está?
Como se está?
And then like, I want to be like, when I leave, I want to be like, hasta la vista. But I can't say it like that because I've Terminator. So every time I leave, I go, hasta la vista, baby.
Please tell me that you still say that every
Yes,
single
every day to these ladies, you know. I'm like, I walk in and I go, como está, por favor? And then they all stare at me like I have lobsters crawling out of my butthole. And then when I leave, I say, hasta la vista. And then the door like hits me and my little cart falls over it. And they're like, what's wrong with that guy?
He's muy stupido.
I hear bandejo a lot. I don't know what that means.
I bet. Hey, do you ever hear them saying like? I don't know if I want to put this on the podcast because I'm not entirely sure. I know what it means.
We can always cut it out. Go ahead.
All right. Because I know you're not going to cut it out. Do you ever hear them talking about you in Spanish, saying like, pinche ruquito mamon?
Yeah, and it doesn't sound nice. I know it's mean. But I don't know what to do.
It means like that fucking old bastard.
Yep, I definitely heard that one.
Yeah, I do.
I'm blessed because I can always ask my good friend Eddie Valenzuela to translate for me. Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah?
I know right what curb he's selling oranges on, so I can always just pull right up and ask him a question.
They ask you something, you're like, hold on. Drive up. No. Hey, Eddie. You know what? I'm going to translate this real quick.
But I always got to tell Eddie, like, stop trying to sell me oranges. I don't want any of your fucking oranges. I just need to ask you a question.
I don't know. It's just click. Maybe I spelled it wrong.
Whenever they say pinchy,
Oh, I
it's
guess
never
they could.
good.
Anyway. All right. Well, I thank the listeners for putting up with my shenanigans.
They love your shenanigans. I constantly get told that you are a funny MFer.
MFer? Aw. Oh, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Yeah. So, and they want to they want to keep your songs coming, so we need to keep that going.
Well, Jason, I want to thank you for basically forcing me on every podcast, guilt tripping me every day to do this. Because without you, I wouldn't be on here to literally show people just how much better I am than you in everything, in every way. So thank you.
Hasta la vista, Bitardo. And that's it. That's the end of our podcast.
Smurf along with me.
No!
HeMan piggies!
Michelangelo, you're about to be shell-shocked.
Autobots, roll out!
Mini powers activate!
Fairy alert! Fairy alert! All fighter fairies scramble! Did somebody say justice?
You're despicable.
Decepticons, attack!
Don't make mistakes here. We just have happy accidents.
Holy mother of Buddha, did you get fat? Let us rain some doom down upon the filthy heads of our doomed enemies. You're useless and pathetic. Like a useless and pathetic thing.
Pardon my French, but get this thing off me! My name is Optimus Prime. No!
You don't get any 'cause you're a baby. Now, kneel before him! What do you say, Chucky? Should I keep my clothes on? Okay.
Wait, I got... You could play with your magic nose goblin. Wanna do the monkey with me? Come on! Bravo's the name, man. Johnny Bravo.
Clever, you muscle-bound moron!
But I'm still hungry. More food.
Bert, I'm afraid he's gonna get cold and lonely out here all by himself, Bert, and then he'll be sad, and I don't want him to be sad, Bert.
Wanna do the monkey with me? Come on!
Autobots, roll out! My name is Optimus Prime.
Eat my shorts. You asked for it.
Hey, baby. Are we, gonna do it?
That's Princess Angelina, Contessa, Louisa, Francesca, Banana, Santa, Leona, pile of origami, the third. But you can call me Dot.
Cool. HeMan piggies!
Don't have a cow, Dad.
Thank you. Goodbye.